Calling on behalf of the Immigration and Checkpoint Authorities, may I have your afternoon temperature, please?
你们为什么一直打电话给我？
Auntie, are you outside? Everything will be back to normal once circuit breaker ends.
என்னடா சொல்ற? What normal?
We are in the middle of a pandemic and you still want to go out and look for your friends.
I already promised Ahwa. Every year this time, I always go to his house to eat dinner.
No, it's not anywhere.
I know, it's somewhere here. Why is Ahwak's house locked?
Hi, I'm Cheryl, the writer and director for this film, and this is our film A Little Closer. So this film sets during circuit breaker and it follows the journey of a stay-home caller who have a interesting encounter with an old lady over the phone. Throughout this whole film, we follow his journey on him trying to convince the old lady to head home while she's trying to ask him help her find his house. At the end of the film, it's revealed that this lady is looking for a temple to commemorate Qingming.
My inspiration for the story is kind of inspired from my grandfather who also doesn't really understand this circuit breaker thing. So this frustration at home is kind of build up, and I feel like putting it into the story helps make it more realistic from my point of view. So Ashwin is like me and Sook Teng is like my grandfather.
Around 50 applicants came, and from that we shortlisted around 25, and we have to burn every weekend to audition them. Also, the storyline wasn't fixed, so we were not really sure what we were looking for. But after auditioning 25 people, we came down to last 2 weeks before going into production, we finalized our main cast.
The color scheme for Ashwin's room is mainly blue, browns, and blacks. And I chose these colors because it represented Ashwin in a sense where he's more cold, more distant, and that's the feel that I got when I read the script from Ashwin. His family is breaking apart due to the pandemic. I wanted to bring that to life by making his room different from the living room. So his room has a more mature, more work from home kind of style to it, whereas outside in the living room is more messy, more vibrant, more colors.
Because Ashwin's room is a blue tone, a brown kind of thing going on, I wanted to kind of contrast and complement that by having Sook Teng have a warm color palette, more approachable personality kind. So for her, we use pinks and oranges and purples whenever we can.
The whole street already. There's no house in front.
Because the film was separated into two parts, indoors and outdoors. For the indoors, we wanted it to have that claustrophobic feel that makes it feel like the character is stuck at home and everyone can relate to him because we have all experienced circuit breaker. Whereas for the outdoor, we wanted to show the emptiness of circuit breaker and how alone Sook Teng feels. The shots were generally wider. I wanted to make it gloomy as well, have that cold feeling of circuit breaker and remind everyone of this experience.
Since our film was during COVID period, we have to ensure that there's social distancing. So our village will be outside of the house for indoor shoot. So our director, script supervisor and art department will be outside during when we are rolling, communicating with my director on what she's looking for, and I have to ensure that every department is satisfied with what is shown on screen in order for me to go for role.
So for the character of Sook Teng, she had this long dialogue with Ahwa at the temple. And for Tuang Mei, it was a big chunk of Mandarin dialogue, which she is not confident in because she's more fluent when she speaks English. So Chinese was an obstacle for her in that sense. Having a lot of rehearsal and talking to her really helped me to better understand her and help her get the emotion out that was required for the scene.
My most enjoyable part being on set is the discussion with the director, because our discussion will determine where the shot goes and the duration of the shot and whether we need to take another take or not. That discussion process with her is always very precious, and actually most of our discussion for post-production comes on set rather than in post-production itself.
I was stressed about the day with the parents and Ashwin because it was 3 people I had to handle, but the task of having to take care of them in between takes and making sure they're comfortable, because most of the time they're in our care because of the touch-ups and contis we have to do. At first I was scared because I had to take care of 3 people at once, but because I had assistants it turned out alright.
One of the key props that we had was the dried garlands and the fresh garlands that the main character will replace at the grandparents' altar. For that prop alone, I had to go to Little India like many times to buy the garlands and also buy like Indian household decorations and to ask around also about like the Hinduism culture and traditions. We needed to dry the garlands, and that was a struggle because I didn't know how to gauge like the timing. How long will it take for the garlands to wilt and then dry to the optimal like state where it will actually look good in the film.
Technical crew is very crucial on set because that actually affected the speed of how things were going on set. At the end of every day or before every shoot day, it would be a bit of a scramble to text whoever I know so that they would come on set to help us.
Ahwak's house is there.
No, it's not anywhere. I checked already. There's no landed property here. Hey, I stay here all my life.
One of the most memorable shots I have is for the last shot of our HDB scene. Basically, during the pre-production stage, we wanted our film to look moody. So I did a lot of research to see how I can like counter like the bright sun at the location. Maybe something I can do in camera or like somehow like diffuse a harsh sunlight, but there wasn't any way that I could do it, especially for a white shot. So for that shot, we had to wait for cloud cover, but the shot turned out well. So that was my most memorable shot.
For outdoor, my difficulty will be mostly sound, as in terms of like I'm scared I hit something, especially if I swing the boom around with all the light stands, everything nearby. Mostly the tight space of either house or outdoor is depends on what he puts in. My difficulty is that I'm scared when I move the boom, I hit something or the camera or dropping the boom into a shot. That's probably my difficulty during shooting.
We shot during a weekday on a small street near a taxi factory, and beside is a furniture factory. So like all of these like furniture noise and like the taxi like make location sound really bad, and like diegetic sound, like whatever you see on screen, like her taking out the tingkat. I can't use my on-set location sound because of how noisy it is. So I had to go back to the studio in school and Foley everything from scratch.
My favorite scene to edit is the temple scene because that's when all the setup are all paid off. That scene is also quite music heavy, and I really enjoy like using the demo music to try to piece up the scene together because like I'm the first one to see the film like come to life.
For my composition process, I actually work with a composer, Robbie. I have to go down to like his home studio a couple of times to figure out like the guitar piece for the temple scene because that's like the most important part of the film . And then we try to compose like different melodies. So there's like a melody for Sook Teng, and then there's a melody for Ashwin. So every time in the film when you see Sook Teng or hear Sook Teng, then there's that bits of guitar playing in the background to signify, oh, that is Sook Teng and her hope and perseverance to find Ahwat. When it's finally at the temple scene, and then that's when we show fully like that melody of Sook Teng and that guitar piece.
The most difficult scene that I have to edit is the HDB scene because the HDB scene is when the first time the two characters met and the first time the whole film is being brought out of the house, is like becoming outdoor. Okay, so because Sook Teng as a character, she doesn't appear on screen, all we hear is her voice, and then HDB scene is the first time where she appears on screen. So my challenge is to sort of like balance her, how to introduce her into our film. So the mystery kind of have to build up. The challenge is also to balance their screen time because now I'm working with two characters where most of the scenes is just Ashwin alone, accompanied with the voice of Sook Teng. But now we are seeing them both in real life. There will be a shift in like the editing style.
So the biggest challenges that we faced as a team throughout this shoot was after the rough cut, we got feedback that the script can be adjusted even more to make the story a bit more engaging for us. So we know that we had to do some pickup shots to change a few dialogues and direction for the script.
There were some major changes to the storyline which required our main character to look younger. However, our cast looked a bit older and matured compared to what was required because of his facial hair. So we have to like recast From the 25 people we auditioned, we had a very suitable cast who looked younger. So we have to like recast our main character and to reshoot the entire project within 2 weeks.
It has been a very long and tiring process, and I am very grateful that everyone stayed together and helped complete this product, because we had so many test shoots, so many mock shoots, and even a reshoot for the entire product with a different cast. But the whole team still stayed together. They didn't give up, and they even tried to put in even more of the effort each time around, which is something I'm very grateful for. Although it may seem like we're doing the same thing, but every single time, there's always something different lah. It really encourages me to want to make sure that the product is being done at its best, and it gives me the motivation to do whatever I can to make it work.
The best thing ever is always like the collaborative effort with everyone, because like I really love that feeling of collaboration and seeing how art comes to life. Like in that sense, also like in terms of script writing, like seeing how like the story solidify, like that was very fun. And then I won't say setbacks, but it's just like roadblocks. Changing the script a bit, having reshoots, all of this can really break everyone's morale. But I feel like, yay, we managed to complete. And then this shows how like we as a team learn to handle this together as a group, learn to problem solve. Meet a problem, solve. Having small chats, enjoying our meals together, and having a fun time. Like that's like the best thing I feel, like the best thing I can remember from the project.